Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. Rowpaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. It's Mondays with Mallory, with KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's John Mallory. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame, weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Now, here's Johnny Ballgame and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
About one more. We're not done. Max Rice, unbelievable, John Mallory. That was fun last night, wasn't it?
There's even a video, the third one. There's a clip where he's dead center. You can slightly hear me say to you on press row, no, like heat check type of no. And of course it went in. They all felt like they went in when they needed to last night in Boise State in front of just a scene that I've never been a part of since I've been living in Idaho or covering sports in this town. That was a lot of fun, BJ. And I'm sure everybody at work today, traveling through the snow and all the ruggedness out there, you're getting to work, you're getting your coffee, you're saying, how about that game last night?
66-60 was the final. This is Bronco Nation News Live, bronconationnews.com. We had happy that we made the switch, Johnny, to have you on today this week. With you being out earlier in the week, it's perfect to have you on. We sat next to each other at press row and witnessed an incredible game, an incredible atmosphere, and an incredible comeback. Boise State down 9 with about 6 minutes to go. There's so many different angles you can take in this, and but Max Rice, as you saw, goes on a big run there late. It was a 12-0, well, it was a 14-0 run to end the game. 14-0 to end the game. Max Rice had 12 of the 14 points. And again, from down 7 or 8, with 5 minutes left, to come back and win that game, Johnny. It was a great crowd and a great game, and we got a lot to talk about over the next 30 minutes here on Bronco Nation News Live. Hope you guys will subscribe to the YouTube channel, both 95.3 The Ticket's YouTube channel as well as our YouTube channel as well. We had record viewership, Johnny, by over 100, like not even close. We were well over 300 people on the YouTube stream just watching, for over an hour last night, and so people were excited to talk about it. Looks like we got another great viewership going right now, and to relive this game. And in my mind, Johnny, it puts them in the NCAA tournament. I know Joe Lenardi maybe didn't move them up as high this morning as some fans were hoping for. They are, off the play-in line, but still, I guess some work to be done, at least in terms of games. But I don't think so. I think if Boise State loses, that Utah State loses in the first round, I still think they're in.
Probably in Dayton, but I think that's going to be okay if they do lose their final 2. The fans are going to be down. They're thinking, what's going to happen now? If they can still get in at that point. I don't think they're going to lose their next 2 games, though. I bought into this team hook, line, and sinker, BJ. Those doubts that I've had with this team in the past, whether it be the bench, whether it be their size, sometimes some lacks of inconsistency, I've always thought that, maybe there was that demon, and now I'm thinking, maybe there isn't. Like, this team's just a really good basketball team, and for them to lose 2 in a row would be something that they're, probably not, built for or accustomed to do. So, BJ, I think they're going to be able to handle one of these next 2 games easily, and maybe not easily, but yeah, I think they're going dancing. I think I agree with you on that.
We look at some of the comments on the YouTube chat, then we'll get Johnny to the different individual performances that I think they're all worthy. But again, if you have a question or comment, we love to get to it in the YouTube chat. Must have been a cold, hard wake-up call for that San Diego State team headed to the airport this morning. 7 a.m. flight out of the Boise airport this morning, Johnny. Can't imagine at 5:30 this morning San Diego State having a lot of fun going through security after that one.
Yeah, well, they have their headphones on. They're probably sleeping. Those dudes sleep all the time. But, yeah, a little colder than they would have expected, not only outside the building, but inside the building for them down the stretch. However, you could say it was a Max Rice heat moment. I mean, the guy, talk about endorsements. I mean, he's got to endorse some type of hot sauce or something, right? I mean, that dude heats up. Let's put a little Max on that rice bowl, right? Something like that. And it feels like, the guy is just, it was a great story earlier in the year when he had that first game, BJ, correct me if I'm wrong here, early on in the season where it was like the first time I think maybe he went 25 or something like that, BJ, I want to say. And we were saying, holy smokes, what a night for Max Rice. And now he's just like followed those up 2 or 3 times, BJ. I think the game I'm referring to would be I don't know, A&M, New Mexico earlier on in the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's just like it's par for the course. It's cool. It's weird. I mean, the first time he had that big moment, oh, sweet. Then he had another one. And then last night, it's almost like people in the arena are like looking around like, okay, when's Max going to feel this and kind of take this over? He's proven now that he can take over basketball games at this level. Like, he's proving that he is an elite level Mountain West caliber basketball player, and it's been so fun to watch him grow and just see how he's went, his ability on the floor, but also upstairs, highly intelligent player. And last night it just came again. It was the Max Rice show again. And you know what? Fans seem to love the Max Rice show, right? It's a lot of fun for Boise State, and they're needing every one of these baskets.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was kind of a cool thing last night on the post-game show. His brother Brock Rice was still he was still in the arena hanging out, and I kind of jokingly said, "You want to come on for a few minutes, talk about your brother and your dad?" And he's like, "Sure, why not?" And I thought he was great. He gave some good insight. He was relaxed. He was candid, and it was just kind of a wasn't scheduled or anything. He was walking by, and I said, "Come on, you want to sit down for a few minutes?" And I thought Brock Rice was great. And I do want to talk about Brock and Leon and Max more in a second, but do want to remind folks we're broadcasting from the Cutwater Spirits mobile studios with Bronco Nation News. More than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. But don't forget 15% off with rowpaint.com, the interior painting of your home. Use the promo code BNN15 when you're putting in that price quote at rowpaint.com, BNN15. And also they're scheduling for the spring concrete coatings. Make sure you get out there and check that out as well. Lithia Ford of Boise, they will buy your used vehicle. Even if you don't want to buy from them, which is unheard of, they will still make you a cash offer on the spot and buy your used vehicle. So check them out. Full inventory of vehicles available at lithiafordboise.com. And Idaho Central Credit Union, a day like today, it's bad weather, it's snowing. You got some checks to cash, things like that. You can do it right from your phone, right from your computer. You don't have to go into the branch. The mobile e-branch online banking, so easy to use. So happy that the Rains family and Bronco Nation News made the switch. You can do the same. Get more information at iccu.com. BNN after midnight was like a W over every penny. My subscription to support. Thank you for the content, Jordan. I appreciate you saying that, man. That was very nice. We went late with the show and then ended up writing my story till about 2 a.m. last night, Johnny. But it was one of those ones where it was a little easy to stay up late, get up early when you know that there's good things coming for your business and for Boise State for that matter. A great post-game show last night. That's where Bronco fans go to celebrate. Sky Ship. You met Sky Ship last night, Johnny.
Hell of a guy.
He said, I gave Johnny the game ball or a ball. I gave Johnny Ballgame a handshake at his first row seat, jealous of his seat. So I don't know if he introduced himself or not, but Sky Ship. memorable, I guess.
It's awesome, man. No, people love being a part of that atmosphere.
Yep. Derek says, let's go, still hyped. And I do want to get back to Max Rice, but that scene post game, we'll put the video here of the court storming on the screen, Johnny. But just with the way it went down last year, to be able to finish it out, the fans we talked about it before the game. Are they going to storm the court or not? We weren't sure exactly what was going to happen. You see Abbo fired up there. The time runs out. San Diego State deciding not to foul, in the last 10 seconds there. And here come the students. We saw you up on a chair trying to get your best, photo. What'd you make of the post-game scene?
That's college basketball. College basketball can replicate that moment there, BJ, better than any sport, any professional sport, and even college football, where field storms just get so chaotic. This was like the textbook court storm. Nobody got in anybody's way. We didn't hear anything about San Diego State players feeling nervous or with their anxieties kicking in, people running all over them. We didn't hear any of that. They went to the middle of the court. They celebrated with their team. It was a great win. I mean, most fan bases, you deserve one court storm a year. Come on. And this was Boise State's this season, and Tyson Degenhart said it in the post-game press conference, could not have scripted a better way to send these seniors out. That meant a lot to Tyson as a sophomore. He knows he has a lot of memories left here. We wanted to make sure his seniors left with this memory right there, and the team got it done. And we'll see, there's Matt Boucher there walking around. I love it. You got ex-players in the melee, current players, BJ, kids, students, parents, fun times.
Guys taking selfies with Max Rice. Did not see you down there this time, though. You stayed back.
Yeah, what is this, Wisecrack Wednesday, Rainmaker? Come on.
I'm just saying, man. There's selfies going on with Max Rice, and last year that
was he just gave that signal there. That was to me.
He did. He did. You guys had your eye contact. You had your moment. But I have no problem with the court storm, by the way. In the past, I've been a little critical of court storms, and I've said it has to be for a special occasion. Beating a top 20 team on senior night in front of a sellout and clinching a spot, in my opinion, in the NCAA tournament, I think going to the big dance, I think that's good enough for a court storm, in my opinion there.
And you know what? You are like captain of the court storming.
And believe me, I had 3 or 4. I had some Utah State fans, a couple San Diego State fans. I thought you said grabbing my old tweets about storming the court, but I think this qualifies. It puts you in the NCAA tournament. It's senior night. I mean, it was against the top 20 team. There are times where I don't think it qualifies, but I thought last night qualified.
Well, I appreciate Captain Qualify letting everybody know that last night, yes, that was an acceptable court storm. You first hear it from Bronco Nation News' own BJ Rains.
That's right. Hey, I have a little clip here I want to play. Max Rice, why don't you set this up first? The play, the comment, whatever you want to say, but we do have the play and the comment here. End of the first half, Boise State's down 5, and a big moment, Boise State to cut it to 3.
Yeah, BJ, and we talked about this Max with this at postgame. First, I'll just set it up. Max called an ISO play with Mensa on him one-on-one, kind of known as the best defender in this league for San Diego State, the big guy in the middle, and he's very athletic. And he said that, Max called an ISO against the guy, and the guy said something like, "Oh, you're not going to take me ISO. Get off it. What are you doing here?" And Max like, "No, I am." And I mean, he told you where he was going to go. Max did, and he had one of these Max patented, like these layups. I mean, these are not easy shots to make. Mensa, you'll see, Max knows Mensa's coming on top of him with the block. Max knows he has to extend as far as he can on this layup, even almost dive forward because Mensa's arms are so damn long. The ball goes in. You see Max kind of pop up, give him a little stare, and you have the clip, I believe, BJ, of Max talking about that moment last night. It was terrific. To me, it was just part of the whole Max Rice revenge tour. He's kept receipts on everybody in this league. He's feeling good. He knows he's the player he is. He has the confidence, and he's just going team to team, fan base to fan base, giving a big old, hey, I deserve to be here, and I'm an elite player at this level.
Yeah, I think he's a great competitor. When I called the ISO, he's like, "You think you're going to ISO me?" And I was like, "Yeah, damn straight, I'm going to ISO you." And then I scored on him, and I said a couple things after that too. But I love competing against those guys. They're clean. They just play hard, and they know how to compete. They know how to win games. So credit them, and that was just a cool play for both of us. Like, not for him, but it was a cool play for me, I guess.
I mean, that's as crafty a shot as you're going to see in college basketball. And that was on that end, BJ. The finish you showed earlier on the Max Rice reel, where he had at the end, where he had the steal, he took it the distance. There were 2 San Diego State defenders there. That is a very high degree level of shot to make. And it's almost like I'm looking like, who's the best finisher on this team right now down low? It's like Max Rice, man. Like, he's finishing down low. He's shooting threes. It's been marvelous. And that he's cool too. Obviously, you see him like, no, I'm going to ISO you, dude. I know you're the best defender in the league, and I'm going to score on you. And I did. And I've kept the receipt on all you guys, and I'm coming after you. And Boise State is a fun team to watch right now. Max Rice is a huge part of that, BJ.
Swagalicious, Jordan says Max is so swagalicious. What a great guy. And Abe Jackson, we always appreciate Abe coming in and watching. He says, I can't think of a game where there was more emotion in the building. Game will be remembered for years. Wow. Johnny, we've been going, Abe's been going.
Abe's saying that too.
We've been going to games for a decade. Abe's been going for a longer time. And if he's
played in them too.
Yeah. And he's probably seen 300 games in that building, 400 games in that building.
That means a lot more coming from him.
Josh says Max Rice, first team, question mark?
I think he's in the mix. I think Max Rice is an elite level Mountain West basketball player. If that means first team, if that means in the conversation for player of the year, if that means second team, then I think that's where he is right now. We'll see, if he gets love in the voting or not. And Max is it's an interesting type of subject, because he is, he's having this great year coming out of nowhere. And you think that there's maybe some coaches in the league that still might be like, or media members, like people were making fun of him on Twitter for banking the 3 in. Did you see that? I'm like, well, what about the 5 other he made? What about all this other stuff? It's fun, but I think Max Rice will be first team, second team. What about you?
Trying to look and see. He's the 11th leading scorer in the Mountain West right now. So he's 11th in the conference in scoring. He's up to 14.4 per game. In terms of 3-pointers, let's see where he's at there. 3-point field goals per game. He's 5th in the conference. He's up there in a lot of stats. So
steals. I mean, the guy, he just always the ball. He's like a magnet. The ball just seems to find him when it gets loose and whatnot. It feels
and this is a big one too. I think that it deserves it. Is he's 4th in the conference in minutes played as well. So 34.1 minutes per game. He's rarely coming out of the game. He's going to be somewhere. I mean, they picked 3 teams, I think, so he'll be, he's at least going to be second team probably, especially if Boise State wins Saturday and get number 2 seed in the conference tournament. Guy says, hey, look, I found the Joe Lenardi emoji, a clown. We'll get to the big picture kind of stuff, what it means here in a little bit. But anything else? I thought in terms of the game itself, individual performances, I thought Najee Smith had a couple of huge 3-pointers, to help Boise State fuel that run. Tyson Degenhardt had a couple big buckets as always. Marcus Shaver, you could see he was wearing like this brace on his ribs and his chest because he had that hit in the last home game and barely played against San Jose, and you can tell he's dealing with something still. Johnny, he had like underneath his jersey, you could just tell he was wearing almost like a bulletproof vest if you look closely, there to protect his ribs. I thought he had a huge step back 3. He had a couple big buckets. Before we talk big picture, what else kind of individually stood out for you? And I do want to say Nathan Mensah, you were mentioning him. In the first matchup, he had 17 points. He had 2 points last night, 2 points and 3 rebounds for Nathan Mensah. So
isn't that crazy?
And then even Adam Seiko, their big 6th man off the bench, that's a lethal 3-point shooter, only took 1 shot. He did make it, but only 3 points for Adam Seiko. So Adam Seiko, Nathan Mensah, 2 huge pieces for them, combined for 5 points. Keyshawn Johnson had 4 points. Lamont Butler only had 3 points. He was in foul trouble. I just thought, Boise State just did an amazing job holding them to 60 points. But I thought what they did on the rebounding battle, 35-24. Boise State out-rebounds San Diego State. The second chance points were 17-5 for Boise State. Boise State had 14 offensive rebounds, and this is against a good rebounding team and coming off a game against San Jose State where they got out-rebounded by 21. There were just a lot of positives. And I don't even know if Boise State played like great for a lot of the game, but they did enough. And I thought
hung around. Yep.
I thought a lot of guys and Najee Smith deserves some credit. A couple of huge threes, like I said.
It was like in baseball, like Najee. Leon loves using baseball references, BJ. Najee Smith had when he did have his hits, they came in big moments, right? Ducks were on the pond at that point, right? It was timely shots made for Najee Smith in moments where, you felt, if San Diego State goes on another mini run here, 4, 5, 6, they're going to push this thing out to 14, 15, 16 points. That might be too much. Boise State was able not to let San Diego State separate, and they talked about that on postgame too. San Diego State, I have a lot of respect for that team. They did not go away. Boise State playing off a historic crowd. I mean, that's what we can call it. I mean, look what everybody is saying about that atmosphere last night, BJ. They don't win that game without that atmosphere. And you can look at all those teams out there. San Diego State is one of them. They get that every night. Hell, Utah State, I don't know what their arena holds. It's not the 12,000 that the X holds, but, they pack the place every night. And I don't know if that's too much to ask, but you mentioned it, offensive rebounds, kind of hustle points, right? A lot of times that comes from playing off of the crowd. And for me, my final point on last night, it wasn't really about certainly the players, although Max is continuing this run of just amazement. But to me, it was the atmosphere. It was the crowd. It was the community coming together with a basketball team in the biggest game of the year, in a game that, holy shnikes, they had to win, BJ, as you know, for multiple boxes to be able to be checked. You had to win that night. And the way they came back and got that win and captured that emotion, and the fans just, it was a beautiful thing. That's why we're all sports fans. And that, to me, was my ultimate takeaway. That'll be a game I will never, ever forget in that building. And that will be a game that I will reference with you, whether we're on air or whether we're just having a beer talking about environments we've been in. That will always make the list. Now, you can probably tell me that it's like that every night in Fog Allen Fieldhouse in Kansas, where you went to school and worked in that area too. Is it like that every night at the Fog, BJ?
Yeah,
every single game.
It is. When we got there, it was 40 minutes before tip-off last night, Johnny, and like the whole bottom two levels of the student section were already pretty much full. That was cool to see last night, and that is kind of how it is at some places where the student section is packed, and they let them in a half an hour early before the general public, and the student section's packed and already booing when the first player on the other team comes out an hour before the game for warm-ups. It felt like that last night. Last night felt like a big-time college basketball atmosphere. And so they finished the home season with one loss, and it was in the first game to South Dakota State. And that's 14 home wins in a row now. They'll take a 14-game home winning streak going into next season. The X is becoming it already has been, Johnny. They win a lot of their games at home, statistically 80+% under Leon Rice. But I thought this year it went to a different level at the New Mexico game. Some of these games where I think it's becoming a legit home court advantage with our friends in the Blue Collar Club all waving the fat heads down there in Section 12. I just think that attendance last night was 12,208. I don't know where that ranks in terms of all-time numbers, but 12,208. And I know there's some games, Johnny, where the numbers fibbed a little bit. It's like, there's no way that was there many people in the building. You could make an argument there was 12,000 plus. There weren't a lot of open seats last night.
Last night, if that wasn't the greatest or the largest crowd capacity, fine. That's good enough. It's a sellout. And the crowd was emotional. They were on their feet, all three levels, students, grandparents, people in between. People were into that game. I looked over once in a timeout, and I see Paul J. Schneider, the legend, standing up, like clapping during a timeout. They got Paul J. Schneider out of his seat. That's when that's a big-time atmosphere last night. Fun thing to be a part of. I wish there was more, man. I wish you got that again, but you're going to have to wait till next year, and I guarantee you our boys, Cody Gogler and Jeremiah Dickey, should be able to capitalize off this season. Another great home season, BJ, and continue to get those season tickets and everything they need as far as support for this basketball program. I think they're all of a sudden they're going to be dealing in record numbers too, I would expect.
When I got to the arena, that it was before the crowd was allowed in, and so it was an empty arena, and they had a lot of seat backs. I'd say there was a couple thousand probably scattered throughout the arena. There was like a white piece of paper taped to some chairs. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's, did they win something or what are they doing tonight? Like, I mean, there was a lot of them, and I was looking around. And so I finally went up to one of the seats and looked at it. And it was a note that said, thank you for being a first-year season ticket holder. And so it was just to see how many new season ticket holders based on all those white, pieces of paper that were taped to the seats. First of all, nice of Boise State to do that and thank them. And they gave some contact info for their feedback and how it went, and they hope they come back next year. But it just that kind of put in perspective, like, oh, all these seats are new season ticket holders this year. So they already made a big jump. They set a record this year, but I agree it could be an even bigger record next year. Hey, you looking for a dentist? How about BoiseDentistryCo.com? Check them out. Dr. Meinert and his staff do a tremendous job. Full family dentistry. You can find a location near you at BoiseDentistryCo.com. United Commercial Insurance. They make business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. Get more information. Save some money with a quick call. Check them out online, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Ridley's Family Markets. Go download that Shop Ridley's app. They got locations all across the Treasure Valley, 13 across the state of Idaho. Download their app and get exclusive savings. Get more information, shopridleys.com. The Blue and Orange Store, good time to go get some gear for the Utah State game, for the Mountain West Tournament, for the big dance, theblueandorangestore.com. And if you order online, you get free shipping on any order over $40. Check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. Matt Bauscher, he was fired up last night, the number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. Check him out, BauscherRealEstate.com. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Again, check them out, BauscherRealEstate.com. And Johnny, we're hoping, folks, we're getting closer to selling this thing out. So if you want in, don't wait. The Boise market has been great with this, and we're really looking forward and excited for this. June 2nd, Timberstone Golf Course, the second annual Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament. So perfect day today to jump in and get your foursome booked. BroncoNationNews.com. Click on the golf tab to get more information. And final thing, before we get our thoughts and wrap this thing up, but Circa, join us a week from tonight, Johnny. Hard to believe.
Party of the year. Party of the decade.
It's a week from tonight, man. Hard to believe. A week from tonight, we'll be at Circa. Now, if the women's team is in the championship of the Mountain West Tournament, we'll adjust. But if they're not in the championship, join us at Circa Wednesday, a week from tonight, 7 to 9. If you're coming down to Vegas, we'd love to have you. We'll have some giveaways, some drink specials. Just going to kind of love to meet everybody and hang out and talk about Boise State basketball as we get ready for the tournament here. So we got about 3 minutes left, Johnny, and I want to wrap this up with a couple things. Just looking at this big picture, you see Joel and Artie again moved them off the first four, but they're still in the last four buys. I think that was enough for sure to get them in the tournament. Obviously, a big game in Logan. You can cement it for sure. You can lock up the number 2 seed if you win in Logan on Saturday. They play tonight against UNLV on the road. But just big picture wise. And again, if Boise State wins on Saturday, Johnny, they will have the exact same record, 24-7, as they had last year going into the Mountain West. So, I know they are, and there is still a sliver of hope too. If somehow Wyoming can go to Viejas Arena and Wyoming's playing better, probably not going to happen. I wouldn't think San Diego State they're going to be pretty fired up on senior night themselves after what happened last night. But there is a chance still going into the last day of the regular season. Boise State's still alive for a conference title.
Yeah, I mean, don't underestimate the value of Jeff Linder and Hunter Maldonado going in there and possibly putting up a triple-double at Viejas, right? Things can happen. San Diego State can be looking ahead to Vegas thinking they have it locked up. This thing isn't over. That's going to be festive at the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum in Logan, Utah on Saturday, BJ. Holy smokes, dude. And all this bracketology, we can't wait. We got him at the perfect time, as you know, and appreciate you for filling in for me on Idaho Sports Talk last week. We have the great Jerry Palm, the bracketologist of CBS Sports. He'll be with us today at 3:15. So
perfect.
That'll be cool for bracketologists and get kind of an up to the second reading of where Jerry Palm has Boise State. But I would say this just quickly. If they lose in Utah State and they lose in the first round of the conference tournament, I think there's a percentage there that they will be out, probably 20%, but I still think that percentage exists. To completely eliminate it, go down to Logan, Utah, and find a way to get a win down there in front of what will be a really cool, their senior day environment. That's going to be fun, BJ.
Yeah, and they're taking it back. I know the Blue Collar Club and the Morales brothers and a big group of people are caravanning down. There's going to be like 50 Boise State fans caravanning down for that game. So
You'll be there?
I'll be there as well. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. It's going to be, we'll have full pregame, postgame coverage. But yeah, no, it's exciting last night. You guys will have full coverage 3 to 6 on Idaho Sports Talk today. You, Prater, Bob, JP, the whole crew. So hope folks will tune in 95.3 FM, the app, KTIK.com, all those ways. And we do have the full interviews, by the way. Leon Rice, Brian Dutcher, Lamont Butler, all the Boise State players. Full highlights, over 9 minutes of highlights that Colin Mitchell did, all available on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. So if you want to relive the game some more from last night, go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. If you're watching us on Facebook or Twitter right now, please switch over, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where our broadcasts are going to be exclusively, probably by the start of football season. We're going to focus on YouTube exclusively, I think, moving forward. So, Johnny, appreciate you and the weather, man, for getting in and doing this. Drive safe, everybody. And by the way, Talon Green tomorrow. We get to talk to Talon Green tomorrow. He is talking with the media after practice. Hard to believe with the snow. Tomorrow morning, 8:45 will be the first spring practice, and they're letting the media out there, and then we'll get Andy Avalos, Talon Green after practice. So
think about this, BJ. Almost any other year, this show, this time slot, we would be previewing spring football. We totally would.
I'm sure you will at some point.
Oh, we will on our show. Hell yeah. We're our spring preview still going on. But that's what I'm just saying. When the basketball team flourishing and playing the way it is with this excitement level, we didn't even mention football. I don't know if you've done that on too many of these early edition BNNs. It's pretty cool. It tells you something about how well this basketball team is being received.
Just get Prater. The lead segment today cannot be Talon. What's Talon Green going to say tomorrow? The lead segment has to be basketball today. Come on.
I don't know if I can give that to you, BJ. You're just going to have to tune in. I would imagine something
3 to 6. We'll all be listening. We'll be listening 3 to 6. Hope everybody tunes in with Prater, Johnny, JP, and the gang. And appreciate you as always, Johnny. Thanks to JP for helping get us on as well. And have a great day, folks. Go check out the YouTube channel. Subscribe. We'd love to have you. And we'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News. Bronco Nation.